Hi, my name is Pastor Hal York, and welcome to Truth in the Trenches. Today we're going to be in Proverbs chapter 22, verse 10. Drive out a scoffer, and strife will leave. Quarreling and abuse will cease. As we know, we encounter the scoffer in several chapters of the book of Proverbs. Sometimes he's referred to as a mocker in some verses, sometimes as a scoffer, but the outcome is always the same. But our verse today gets right to the point. If you want peace in your business, in your church, in your family, or on your team, you must drive out the mocker or the scoffer. Psalm 1:1 says, "Blessed is the man who sits not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers." This verse at the beginning of Psalms mentions the seat of the scoffer, implying that scoffers are often embedded within an organization and feel secure. As a result, they must be driven out because they will not leave on their own. Scoffers often assume an air of superiority and authority, so when the time comes to remove them, they may not and probably will not go easily. They are settled in their positions and probably consider themselves unmovable, but they must be driven out. By nature, a scoffer is proud, arrogant, loud, irreverent, settled firmly in their opinions, and the result of such behavior is quarreling and strife, abuse, friction, and tension. Ultimately, if scoffers are not driven out, they may be the only ones left in the church or on your team. If they are in your office, you may dread going to work every morning. Sadly, in today's world, mocking and scoffing attitudes are often regarded as heroic by many. These individuals mock leadership, they mock the truth, they mock authority, and even God. They show no boundaries in their scoffing. It's simply who they are. There's many verses in Proverbs, as we said, that deal with the scoffer. Let me read a handful of them. Proverbs 21:24 says, "The scoffer describes the arrogant, haughty person who acts with pride." 29:8, "Scoffers set a city aflame, but the wise turn away wrath." 24:9, "The devising of folly is sin, and the scoffer is an abomination to mankind." These verses and many others illustrate why the instruction to cast out the scoffer is so necessary, and also explains why it is so challenging. The book of Jude was written to expose false teachers. Listen to how Jude describes them. In verse 8, he says, "Yet in this like manner these people also, relying on their dreams, defile the flesh, reject authority, and blaspheme the glorious ones." Later on in verses 16 to 19, he says, "These are grumblers, malcontents, following their own sinful desires. They are loudmouth, boasters, showing favoritism to gain advantage. But you must remember, beloved, the predictions of the apostles of our Lord Jesus Christ. They said to you, in the last time there will be scoffers, following their own ungodly passions. It is these who cause divisions, worldly people, devoid of the Spirit." What if we can't drive them out? Maybe they're in our home, or maybe we're married to a scoffer. What can we do? Well, we can refuse to listen to their mocking, and we can voice our disapproval. We should not have fellowship with such people, nor should we form friendships with scoffers or mockers, lest we learn their ways. Social media is a paradise for mockers. Woe to anyone who dares to speak against their views or opinions. While we may not be able to drive them out of social media, we don't need to listen to them or follow them. We should seek to remove them, if we can, from all of our devices. Because to listen to them is to learn their ways. Paul instructs us in Romans 12 to live peaceably with all men as much as possible within us. So this means that if we take this command seriously, to live peaceably with all men, we will identify those who cause contention and strife and drive them out. We certainly will not partner with them in any endeavor. We need to drive them out, but we also need to remember to pray for them, because maybe that was us one day, before Christ saved us. But no one is beyond the saving power of the gospel of Jesus Christ, so we may drive them out, but we also need to pray for them. And so we need to recognize scoffing and mocking for what they truly are, an abomination before God. Proverbs 19:29 says, condemnation is ready for scoffers, and beatings for the back of fools. Unless ungodliness is gaining momentum in our society and scoffers are leading the charge. They are gaining footholds in government and universities, even in high schools and grade schools. And as they do, strife and quarreling will continue to increase, not decrease. Mockers have no trouble attracting others to join them. Birds of a feather truly do flock together. Matthew 7:15-17, Jesus warns us, "Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. You will know them by their fruits. Grapes are not gathered from thorn bushes, nor figs from thistles, are they? So every good tree bears good fruit, but the bad tree bears bad fruit. Scoffers will be known by the fruit of their lives," which is quarreling, strife, tension, anger, dissension, bitterness, and everything else that goes with those things. So therefore, we need to take this verse very seriously. Drive out the scoffer, and strife and quarreling will leave with them. May this truth guide us and guard us in the trenches of life as we seek to live our lives for the glory of God and the good of others. May God bless.